Our Evenings by Alan Hollinghurst, published by Picador, and this has been longlisted for the Polari Prize 2025. It is the story of Dave, and it follows him through his life's journey. So it opens in the 1960s and sees his life through right until the Brexit referendum and right up to the start of COVID. So, there are quite a few decades packed into this, relatively big book. The story opens with Dave, who is at boarding school, and he is a scholarship boy. He has won the Hadlow Scholarship, and that entitles him to spend some time with the Hadlow family, who are the sponsors of that scholarship. And the story opens as he is in their home, and they are very upper crust, and he is trying to find his way, keep his P's and Q's, just understand how this echelon of British society actually works. And the fact he's called Dave, rather than David at that point, sort of sets him apart because, everyone else has posh names, like his friend Giles, who is a contemporary of his at school. Now, we follow Giles a little bit through Dave's eyes, and they were obviously, spent a lot of time together, but then their lives separated. They occasionally meet up, and it is only at the end that we get a sense of what Dave really thinks of Giles and how his life is very different to Dave's life. The story kind of accompanies him as he goes through, the vagaries, the complexities of his life. He has to come to terms with his sexuality. His mother and her partner are very supportive of him, and he has a good relationship as he often goes back to see his mum and Esme. And he also develops an incredible talent for acting, and that is his path in life. He has several relationships that we are privy to, and he has to work out how he is going to manage life because, his path, unlike Giles, is not preordained. And given that he has a slight sense of difference because of his Burmese origin, and in those days, in the early sort of mid 20th century, that could really be an issue. So there are a lot of themes in this novel. And I think, if I'm honest, it took me probably a good half to get really alongside Dave in his story because there was a lot of detail and a lot of fudging, and then occasionally I wasn't quite sure from which angle the story was coming. But I guess that reflects, the complexity of his life and the curiosity of his life, and the way that he himself, sometimes just didn't have clarity. I've always liked Alan Hollinghurst as an author. The writing in this book is absolutely superb, as one would expect. And by the end, I'd really warmed to Dave and his plight. And, there is a good ending to this story. Good, I say, good in terms of the structure. It goes along at a good pace, and I thought this was actually very good by the end of having read it. So if you're looking for something that is quite immersive, certainly in the second half, Our Evenings by Alan Hollinghurst is a book that I'm sure will stay with me at quite some level.